It's about the same two things you guys are talking about. Human contact.
Yeah. That's
human contact.
You need it. We're human beings.
I'm talking about as soon as you wake up, I want you to give yourself an hour for you. And I want you to take that hour. I always when I get up in the morning, I thank the Lord that he gave me another day. And I thank the Lord that I didn't grow up. I'm not growing up in a house where at 6:30 in the morning, a bomb gets dropped in your house. Lee's getting shaved. I got to wait for him. We can't use the bathroom because Brody took a shit. It smells like fucking 10 people died in there.
Yeah.
The washing machine broke, so your shirt's not ready. So now you got to iron it by hand. Everybody's getting up in a bad mood. And now you got to get on a train in a bad mood, and everybody's late to work. I fucking hated that shit.
We don't want that.
That shit did not fly in my world. I know I needed to get up. I need a little break in the morning. I put music on. I get coffee. I sit there with a notebook that's wide open. I put Tuesday, November 13th on it. And I say it's a beautiful day to be alive. And from there, I just and I don't stop till the end of the page.
So you journal.
I journal in the morning to get the waste out. Today I'm going to do this, 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 and this. I fucking don't want to do it because the 405 is going to have traffic on it. I mean, I talk myself out of everything I could talk myself out of. So it's all over. After that page, my day is decided. You know what? I was going to do What's His Name's podcast. I'm not driving to Marina Del Rey. I'm texting him at 9 o'clock and telling him, you're in no danger. That's when I decide how I feel. If I wake up and my back hurts and I can't move, then I'm not going to go to jiu-jitsu at 12. Let's make alternate plans. Who's got a podcast? You got a podcast? Yeah, when do you do it?
Wednesdays,
Thursdays. Well, let's do it tomorrow at 12. That's how I work because I don't want to skip. I don't know when I'm be available.
But it's about also, scheduling stuff.
Scheduling stuff and always keeping yourself busy. This business, what we do, let me tell you something. And I'm not going to do this to none of you people anymore because I know sometimes when comedians come on here, fucking in today's world, it gets crazy. If you get caught up in today's world between the internet, the media, and what's going on, you are going to go crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention no names because I'm not here to embarrass nobody. But I think we have discussed that we've seen a couple people lose their minds within the last 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah. On the internet.
On the internet, in public, we've heard of people losing their minds. There's too much information getting poured into the human mind right now.
Yep.
So right now, you have to learn how to control that too. You have to learn how to control that too. And decide on what level, how much of this are you going to take in. You know what? I'm listening to 11 podcasts a week. That's 33 hours. I got to chop it down to 5.
You do?
You know what? I'm watching too much fucking football. I got to chop it down to just Sundays. No more Thursday game. I'm going to take a shift to fucking Chili's as I cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to take an extra shift. You have to control what gets put into your mind right now because of what's going on in the world, what ABC News is feeding you, and when the internet is feeding you. It really, really is overwhelming for the mind.
Yeah. I don't look at the ABC News, really. I'll glance at those guys, but I listen to KFI local radio here in LA, but I go on the internet for my news, and it's a battle out there, to be honest with you, how it is. And I wake up every morning, and a lot of times, to be honest, I'm up in the morning, I'm looking at that internet, I'm looking at that Twitter, and I'm trying to find things, and I do my sets at the Comedy Store. I come home, I go straight to Twitter, and I'm not on there like getting in fights with people. I'm just researching stuff. And I feel like I'm ahead of the game on what's happening. And I feel like the last few years with the politics the way they are, it has kind of pulled me into an area, at least my energy. Not necessarily, I'm not getting into fights on the internet. I'm not that guy. But it does get your blood boiling a little bit. But I do avoid it. But I also I'm digging in. Honestly, I want everybody to be happy. I want to do whatever it takes to get it back to where we're happy and working together. And that's what I'm pulled in there too. It takes your time. And I feel like I'm not a part of that mob mentality. I'm a little different. I'm blue collar. I'm from the Valley. I grew up, and it bothers me. I don't like seeing comedian friends of mine angry on Twitter. So I try to block it and not see it, but it's a bummer for me. And so that can get to you.
I feel it's a tough time to be a human being right now. I feel mentally, if you get sucked in, it's a tough time to be a human being right now. You have to know your yin and your yang and your borders. You have to make time for yourself. You have to take care of yourself.
Yes.
You have to, you're talking to a guy that lived in his head for years, and it got me nowhere. It got me nowhere till I expressed what was in my head. That's when I started getting places, We overthink things, and in the process of thinking, we think ourselves out of the game.
Right.
There's nothing to think about. You get the idea, you get a piece of paper, you write it out, and you go to work.
So you weren't journaling during the years you were in your head?
Not even thinking about it. There was no journaling. There was nothing. There was no journaling in my life till 1994 that I started journaling my comedy stuff.
That's when I started.
And then I went to Seattle, and there was a skinny woman that was a comic that wasn't that funny, older, married. And one day she turned me on to a book called The Writer's Way or something. And she told me I could borrow it for a few days, and I read it. And in there, already I was doing it. In there, it recommended, that when you wake up in the morning, you should get a fresh piece of paper and express your thoughts for the day. And I was like, I'm on to something. If they're telling you this, and at this time, this was the hot book, the book.
Right.
The Writer's Way or The
Was
Right
it Jean
Way.
Perret?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't comedy writing.
Okay.
It was just writing and self-help.
Journaling. I learned that in college at Arizona State.
I never knew about journaling till comedy. And I remember when I used to get coked up, I would journal at night. Like telling myself this is the last time I'm going to do it. I have to stop this life. Even though I had a good set tonight, I'm making good moves in my life. Why am I still writing, doing coke? I think journaling is the best thing in the world for you. I think journaling is the best psychiatry. I think every Friday, every Saturday morning I wake up and I read what I read for the week. I read what I wrote from Monday on. Number one, everything that I write in that journal in the mornings gets done. Plus, I have another notebook that has my schedule. Plus, I have a calendar that has my schedule. And, I have 3 things to know my schedule. One is my day step by step. 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12:30, 4 o'clock, 5:30, 8 o'clock podcast, 10 o'clock spot at the Comedy Store. And then there's the journal part of it.
Right.
Where it's just a yellow notebook. And every day I wake up and I write backwards to front. So I start in the back and I write to the front. I don't start in the front. I start in the back. And I write to the front. Just superstitious. I don't want to write like everybody else. I start in the back and I write to the front. And it opens up with Monday, November 13th. First line is always, it's a beautiful day to be alive. That's the first thought that's just coming to your head. I don't give a fuck if you're in a ditch and there's a rock on top of you. As long as you're breathing, if you say that to yourself, your day is going to be completely fucking different. It's been proven. It's been proven. People who pray, the limits go up.
You're not supposed to pray, they say, though. Thoughts and prayers.
You're not supposed to pray, but saying that to yourself, it's a beautiful day to be alive while you're pissing. while you're pissing, while that piss is coming out of you, and your knee hurts, and your neck is stiff from eating pussy, and that you got a blister under your tongue from eating pussy and ass.
That can happen.
And the chick got chlamydia, it still doesn't matter. While you're peeing, if you say to yourself, it's a beautiful day to be alive, whatever shit comes into your mind on top of that, it's not going to matter. I got to go to court today. I'm broke. I'm hungry. I don't have money to pay the rent. If you say that to yourself first, it's a beautiful day. Every journal of mine starts like that.
Right.
Thursday, November 16th, it's a fucking beautiful fucking day to be alive. Today, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to go see this fucking scumbag. I got to go deal with this fucking piece of shit. And whatever. I got to pick the baby up at 4. But hey, you know what? 20 years ago, I was fucking trying to stab somebody. Look where I am today. At least I'm living. I'm breathing. I'm healthy. I got my house. You know, it's just that part of it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like working on a TV show every day, or working with maybe with the baseball team. You bring that energy in. Yes, we're here. Push. People like that. They like that energy, bringing it, lifting people up, positive self-talk. You have to do it because it does work. I know it sounds silly, but it does work to put that, you're putting that energy out. It really is an energy of, you're putting it out, and it does, I'm not saying it comes back to you, but you do put it out. And people like being around it. That's the thing. People like being around that. That's, you know, it's like a coach. It's motivational, upbeat. It can be done. And you can kind of train yourself, I would think, at least to believe that it works. You know, it's not easy to do, but if you believe it, you know it's there. And that's what I learned that from, I learned at Arizona State about the power of the mind, of being positive and visualizing, because I saw it affect my pitching. I saw it affect my schoolwork. I saw it affect my confidence. I got everything out of baseball at Arizona State that I wanted. And I apply those rules today, like at the Comedy Store. Playing Division I sports was a big thing. And I happen to go to Arizona State, where we have a lot of players in the major leagues. And we had access to professional baseball coaches there. And that's where I learned the visualization. And then I see it around when I hung out with the baseball teams, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Cubs. And there's something to it. So I'm not trying to figure it out still, but I know it's something there, you know, and I got to apply it to myself a lot of the time. You know, it's easy to say, but, and, you know, that's why I wouldn't mind being around in baseball.
CNN did a thing that bothered the fuck out of me. It bothered the fuck out of me because I felt that it gave an excuse. They had a docuseries called The Dark Side of Comedy.
The Dark Side of Comedy?
Yeah. And they had different comics, and they discussed Robin Williams and the suicides and and the drugs and the Kennisons and all this shit. And I agree with a lot of part of it. But I recently dealt with some shit. I don't know what it was. It started like in March, and it went on till maybe the second week of July after I shot the Netflix special. It wasn't pressure. It was just this doubt, this form of depression that came over me. You know, it affected my stomach. And it was just really weird that I found out from reading the old journals about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. I go, let me go back and see what I was writing in March.
Yeah.
And one thing about depression is a motherfucker if you let him in.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you let depression in? From getting into your mind and not getting sunlight and not having contact. And I know all about it because, like I'm telling you guys, I fucking hate driving. I fucking hate it. But those weeks that I'm in town all week, like that I don't have to go on the road, sometimes I schedule something for Thursday that's out of my character. And the whole week I dread it. But while I'm driving in the 405 in bumper-to-bumper traffic, I go, thank God I got out of the valley. Like, thank God. Like, thank fucking God. Like, enough is enough. That's the other reason why I call home for spots at the store. Makes me get out of the valley.
Yeah, we go over the hill every night.
Every night. You know I can't do it every night. But, guys, I suffer from the same thing you guys suffer from. I learned about it 20 years ago. Because 30 years ago, I could stay in. They could put me on a fucking island. That's my dream, guys. That's my dream. That my daughter grows up, my wife tells me she's going to go and live in fucking New York, and I fucking go, you know what? There's an island for 60 G's. Fucking the Navy dropped bombs there 20 years ago, and there's fucking nuclear reactive. I'll get a little chip of the island, get some chicken cutlets, some mash. I'm the type of guy that I could be alone all day. With music, marijuana, I swear to God.
Drums. I like drums.
Weights. A punching bag. TV, an internet.
Internet, will you podcast in Periscope?
No.
Oh.
Done. Lock myself in.
Oh.
I could be one of those guys that I could stay in. I could eat the same shit every day. I could eat a mortadella or salami and American cheese sandwich every day.
Oh.
Protein shakes. I could live on one every day. I'm a fucking creature of habit. So I scare myself with that shit. That's why I forced myself to get the fuck out. I went through that cocaine morning shit where you don't want to leave the house because the cops are watching you and all that. No. Ever since I stopped that, I forced myself out because I always knew that was the dark side of comedy. The dark side of comedy is getting into your mind, but it's not the dark side of comedy. It's the dark side of life.
Yeah.
It's the dark side of life. It's not the dark side of comedy. If you let depression in, so as soon as you start feeling that shit or that stuff that gets you all wound up, boom, that's it. You're out of it.
But
go smoke a joint. Go for a walk. Go
for a walk. Go book a gig.
Go talk to somebody. Go talk to somebody. And I'm not talking about somebody that you pay. I'm talking about go talk to
a friend.
Somebody. A friend. Somebody at a Starbucks who's there every day who sees you. Just forcing yourself. You know, I do a stupid joke about the universe. Mm-hmm. It's very true. You get back what you put in.
Yes.
You know, you're lonely, go to a kickboxing class. There's 8 people in there. You're going to jive with one of those people. That 1 hour of you talking to those other people, that gets you out of your head. Your phone's in the car. Your mother's fine. The only person you got to worry about is your mother and your father. Everything else is bullshit. Warner Brothers ain't going to call you while you're in kickboxing class. Nobody's going to call you while you're in kickboxing class. There's times I go to like a jiu-jitsu class and I'm like, oh, when I get in the car, there'll be 8 minutes messages.
No.
You ain't got nothing. Nobody called you. Nobody's going to call you. But just the thought of getting away from the phone.
Yeah.
Just that other thing. Just forcing you away from that phone. 1 hour. It's in the car. And if it melts, let it fucking melt. I got insurance. What am I going to do?
But just getting away from...
That's all this is. All this is lately is we have too much fucking information. Why do you think comedy's so big right now? Why do you think I'm telling you to do a show in the daytime? Because, man, I wouldn't fucking say this if I didn't believe in it. 5 years ago, I would not believe this statement.
Okay.
People need comedy.
They do. We're telling the truth.
People love it.
They
love it.
That's why, especially we're on the front lines at the Comedy Store. We're here in Hollywood, and I feel like if you have stage time,
you're fucking just watching you interact with the donut Korean. Let's say you went to the same Cold Water in Riverside. Next to the dry cleaners, there's a Krav Maga Jew place. There's a Chinese
donut
place.
in there.
There's a donut in on the corner.
I know it.
There's a Mexican joint there.
Yep.
There's a frozen ice.
Shaved ice. Those people are real Korean in there. I went in there one day to get a bagel. I asked them for like a fucking, and the guy tried to sell me like that Korean is ruthless. He's like, put it on pumpkin bagel. Listen, you don't put logs on pumpkin bagel. I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a fuck. I have no onion, but I have blueberry. Put logs on blueberry. That's good for you. Oh, good for you.
You go in there and torture that dude every day on camera for 3 minutes. That's a series. For 4 minutes a day, people will pay $1 to see you go into that donut place and ask that motherfucker, you got any cinnamon donuts? He'll tell you, I tell you yesterday I got no cinnamon donuts. And you just run from there.
But I know
Every day you open up and say,
Please tell me you don't ask that guy every day for like a.
I would. If I knew that China guy would get pissed off, I'd walk in there every day knowing that he didn't have a donut. And then I start sending people in there. Like, that's the best. When you
So
start
wait, so you torture people to keep your brain sharp? Like you torture people just to like entertain? Like you're like just doing it to like.
it's worth
my socializing.
It's worth a few Patreons.
Oh my god!
You have no idea how much fun you can have on the internet today. If I had the time and the energy, I'd just go into Yum Yum every day. The Yum Yum Minute. Just go in there and torture them. How many calories in the donut? And them like looking at you like, they don't know the language.
You go in every day and you ask a different calorie and you never get a donut.
But that's the thing now.
Do you have any
Today,
gluten-free donuts? Gluten.
you have almost like no reason to be, not saying no reason to be depressed, but there's so many outlets. Before, like, what, if you were staying home, you were sick, what, you had like 10 channels on TV and that's it. Now you've got so many. Yes, there's a lot of drawbacks to the internet and social media and all that, but there are a lot of positives associated with it. You just got to be able to maintain it and also know that it can be used for some good.
Well, I mean, times have changed. I don't know, but you guys are in hotels every week, pretty much. Whenever I go to a hotel, I used to love. I would have TV on. I would watch Sports Center, this and that. I'll be in a hotel room for a weekend and not turn it on.
See, I watch TV.
I
in the
force
hotel.
myself to leave the hotel room every 2 hours. Smoke a joint. That's why I bring extra weed. I smoke a joint. I get the gym. I force myself to leave the room every 2 hours. And I force myself to leave the hotel room for a patch. I force myself on Saturday to go to lunch with somebody. Somebody from the club owner. I do little things, but just enough to scratch that itch. I can't go to a baseball game for 7 innings. I do enough just to scratch that itch.
So when you go to town, you'll schedule appointments with people to keep that human contact going.
Right. I'll schedule a Muay Thai class. When I went to Jersey this week, I took a private jiu-jitsu class in Jersey on Friday. I went to the gym on Saturday. I have to force myself, because if not, I will sit in front of that iPad and I will watch you know what I love about the road?
What do you love?
You know why I go on the road?
To watch your iPad?
Nope. It's not to make money. I love to meet different people and make people laugh. I go on the road for Friday night.
That's your night.
That's my night.
To go do a great show, make them laugh, meet people, memories, put out good energy.
And no, I don't have to do shit on Saturday morning.
And you like that?
That means I could go back and anything goes on Friday nights. Mm-hmm. Okay, that means that if you come up to me and give me 2 Vicodins, I might go back to the room and pop one, put on a pot of coffee, get a notebook out, and I'll watch. I swear to God, I got no reason to lie to none of you. I'll watch 5 episodes of Sons of Anarchy.
Jesus.
Lee, how much do I yell at you for watching TV?
A lot, yeah.
On Friday nights when I'm on the road.
Yeah.
That's me. That's my gift for leaving my family. I get a table. I put my feet up with a pillow to elevate above my heart because I've just been on stage for 2 hours.
Yep.
And I just sit there. I bring a vapor pen. I bring nicotine gum.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I bring a bag of Doritos up to my room. And sometimes I eat it. Sometimes I leave it for the maid. I get coffee going. And whatever.
Coffee after the show?
In my room. It's my night to do whatever the fuck I want. On Friday night after a show, I can't wait to get back to the hotel. Sometimes somebody will give me a pill or something, and I'll hold it for when I go on the road to drop it that night while I'm in the hotel on Friday night. Like, if you give me 2 Vicodins, I'll hold on to them. And I know that when I go to Portland Friday night after the show, I'll pop 2 Vicodins and go home, and I'll scratch. And I'll watch Narcos, and I'll watch 4 episodes of Narcos and not blink an eye. I could do that. That, to me, is fun. Because I know I'm going to get up at 8. I'm still going to go for breakfast, and I'm going to go back to my room and sleep another 3 hours. I'm still going to get up early, and I'm still going to go to breakfast. I still force myself up to breakfast, walk downstairs. It sucks. but I make myself do it. Just to even talk to the waitress, bump into, hey, that was a good show last night, thank you. Then you go back to your room. Sleep for 3 hours, get up, I'll watch Narcos.
Right.
I'm out. Come back, 2 more hours writing, out. 1.5 hours writing, out. Go roll a joint, smoke a half a joint, hide it behind a building. Come back. That's what I do. I don't walk into the hotel with that joint in my hand and the whole room smells. I get the thing and I put a rock on top of it, and I come back 2 hours later and I take the rock off it and I smoke the other half.
And how do you stay disciplined on all of this? Is this what makes you happy, makes the shows better, you feel better?
This is what makes the show better. This is what makes me better. We are creatures of whatever, we have to force ourselves. And I didn't know this. You have to force yourself sometimes out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone is a big fucking word, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's an ugly fucking word. And once you feel yourself in that comfort zone, get in the fucking car.
Get out of the comfort zone.
Get out. It was pretty funny. Lead to the show this week. And it was, I fell in love with Brody, 19 years ago at a bar in Gig Harbor. I'll never forget. And I'll never forget what he said, how he said it, in the pause that he said it. That's when I knew Brody was real. He was on stage, and I've told this on every, he's yelling and screaming. And in the middle of it, he turned around, and there was a bunch of photographs on the wall. He's up on stage yelling and screaming, and he just stops and he goes, how come there's no Jews up on the wall? He goes, next time I come here, there better be Jews on the wall. I'll never come to Gig Harbor again. I'm in the back with Josh Wolf. He's a kid. I'm howling. But I fell in love with you. Gig Harbor.
Yep.
That gig was a gig of death.
Yep. Across of Arizona's bridge from Tacoma.
It wasn't no fucking evening at the Pops. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So the other night, Lee goes down to Eddie Bravo's 15th reunion. They throw this poor bastard on stage while the UFC's on. He's up there, and the Korean zombie gets knocked out, and poor Lee's up there with his aim material.
In front of the screen.
Thinking he's on Conan. Today, somebody came up to me and like, by the way, we were at the 10th Planet party. We feel so bad for Lee. He went up this. I swear to God.
That's crazy.
Swear to God. They were like,
tough spot.
Who the fuck did that to him?
I survived. I did my stuff.
But it's weird. He called his friend Eric, gay Eric, our buddy Eric Rocha, and Eric bought him a beer because he was so depressed. He felt it. And I explained to him last night, I go, I've been doing comedy 27 years. I opened for Rogan, I opened for Dice. I did all these gigs, and I got to tell you something. Half of your career is those rooms. Where you get there and the Seattle Mariners are in the playoffs, and it's the 7th inning, and coming to the stage.
Those tough
Brody,
bar gigs.
And you hear like, boo, boo, we want to watch the game. Put the game on. Well, they got to do comedy. And also the owner gets into an argument. They do comedy here. We don't give a fuck about comedy. All right, put the game on, but take the volume off.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, oh, my God. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, that's it. And you're up there on stage dying a slow death, thinking about career choices. You just went on ZipRecruiter. You looked, it's fucking harm. But then you do a guest spot at the Underground.
In Seattle.
You kill them, and that makes all that go away. Because your strength isn't from going on stage in the Seattle Underground. Your strength is from going on stage at those places.
The hell gigs.
Where they're not
the
there
youth
to see
hostels.
You. Yeah, where they're not there to see you.
The bar gigs.
I'm here to get a gram of blow.
The Gig
get
Harbors.
my dick sucked. And a chubby Jew wants to go on stage and do comedy. Well, I got this chick by the ear.
Yeah.
I got this chick by the ear, and some fucking Jew and a fucking fat Cuban are going to go up on stage and try to be funny. People hate that shit.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.